Okay, hello. I'm Golan Dreamland, and I'm making now another tutorial on making music. And this time, the subject of the tutorial is how to use reference tracks to help you in mixing. I am using a lot of reference tracks on mixing. I think they are a very useful tool for improving your mixing skills. Okay, so here I have an example project, but before I start going it through, I'm gonna explain you a couple of things. So first of all, there might be some people that don't use any reference tracks on mixing, but I'm not one of them. I need reference tracks, so why would you want to use reference tracks? There is multiple reasons. First of all, people are not perfect. People make mistakes in mixing process. Reference tracks prevent mistakes, help identify mistakes, and they help to recalibrate your ears. When used regularly, you can spot mistakes early in the mixing process when they are easier to fix. For optimal results, I recommend to use at least 3 reference tracks which you consider well mixed or mastered. I recommend that these tracks are done by other producers unless you are very confident on your mixing skills. It is also a good idea to have at least some of them to be on the same genre or style what you're trying to produce. I recommend at least one of the reference tracks to have the same bassline key which you are having on your track and to be approximately on the same BPM. In addition to basic reference tracks, I always have an earlier version or earlier export of my track as a reference track so that I can easily confirm if the changes I've made are improving the track or not. And sometimes I have also other tracks made by me as reference tracks. The way I'm doing this, if you look now at the screen, I always put the reference tracks at the top of Ableton Live. Like here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reference, 7. Okay, well it does not matter that much. I have 3 reference tracks from other producers. But sometimes I could have much more. Here, this project which you are now seeing on the screen is Secret of Mana Remix. But then here is a screenshot from another project, Flying Fortress, which has at least 5 reference tracks by other producers. And sometimes I might have up to 8. I like to use them a lot because I feel that they help me in mixing. Okay, so how I use them? On the reference track, I am choosing a portion which is the most busy part in the track, which typically means the section where are snares and hi-hats and a lot of stuff going on at the same time. So that's the part I'm using as a reference track. It could be like 30 seconds, like pretty short, maybe 60 seconds. And then I'm looping it again and again and again. You see here, for example, this track repeats for the whole duration. It's just looping again and again and again. It just makes it easy, because when I use the reference tracks, I know that it's gonna be like the busy part where everything is audible at the same time. Not everything, but a maximum amount of stuff is audible at the same time. For referencing, it is very important to set the volume of the reference track to appropriate level. The way I'm setting the level is that I try to get the loudness of the reference track to match the loudness of my track in low frequencies. And the way I'm doing this is that I have a low-pass filter in master channel. Here is a low-pass filter. Where is it now? Here. Just a simple low-pass filter. And now, normally when I'm mixing, I'm not using. Typically it's disabled. But in some situations, I will enable it. And this is one of the situations. When I do the level matching, I enable the low-pass filter. And then I start to listen. Let's try here. So now you hear my track low pass, and now I solo one of the reference tracks here. So now you hear just the low end of the reference track. Here I've put it to -5 dB. It really does not matter the number, but I just set it to such volume that it feels to be in equal loudness for me by ear when I listen to it. And when you do this by ear, when you set the level, it is very important that you have a flat frequency response. Because if you don't, then there might be issues. So typically when I set the reference track volume, I have studio headphones, Sennheiser HD 600, which I'm using. So I'm using either the headphones because they have pretty good frequency response, or if I use speakers, I will enable SonarWorks acoustic correction. I have SonarWorks here. The results are better if you do it with flat frequency response, in my opinion. Now, there's always risk that a reference track can lead you astray. Cause for this could be one, that you made a mistake in loudness matching. People make mistakes. It's not exactly at the same loudness. Well, you will never get it exactly to the same. But you made a mistake. Number two, the reference track is not well mixed. Number three, reference track is not well mastered. This is the reason I am recommending to use at least 3 reference tracks, because it is very unlikely that you would make the same mistake 3 times in a row, or that all of the 3 of your reference tracks would have the same mixing or mastering mistake. I'm having reference tracks always muted. So you see here, if you look here, they are muted. And when I feel that I want to make a reference or recalibrate my ears, like let's say I'm mixing like this, but wait a minute. I'm mixing like this, and then suddenly I feel I want to recalibrate my ear or make a reference, so I just press solo button here. So I'm doing this all the time, recalibrating my ears again and again and doing referencing again and again. This is the way I mix. I do it very, very often. So it is very easy, like you keep them always muted, but when you need them, you just press the solo button. If you're doing a critical phase in mixing, where you are referencing very frequently, you might also make a keyboard shortcut to your reference track solo buttons, so you can do it even easier. By the way, this reference workflow which I'm using, it will not work if you have audio processing effects in your master channel, because you do not want any audio processing on the reference tracks. If you process audio on the master channel, then you have to route reference tracks directly to speakers, which will make harder to use additional mixing tools that I will describe in future tutorials. Anyway, if you are using audio processing in master channel, you will have to route your reference tracks in such way that they will not be affected by your master channel audio processing. That is about reference tracks. If you like this tutorial, please share, follow and support in the links in the description of this video. Thank you very much and have a nice day.